I would just like to ask, sino yung class president or biochem coordinator para pag may mga announcements or may mga questions ako kasi guest lecturer lang ako so minsan naiba pala yung mga schedule, di ko nalalaman. Sino yung nyo dyan?
Ako yung
Coordinator.
president, Doc.
Greg, oo.
Si
Sige,
Sharla po yung LO.
sino yung
Sharla po.
Ako po yun, Doc.
Charla? Oo. Charla pa, message ako sa messenger or dito i-chat mo sa akin yung yung contact info mo, messenger or phone para pag may mga announcements, masabihan ako at masabihan ko rin. For example, kasi yung next lecture ko on HMP and uronic acid on October, I'll be out of town nun. So, magre-request ako kay Doc Madarcos kung pwedeng the week before or the week after. Okay?
Nakapag-message na po ako, Doc.
Okay. Sige, sige. Check ko na lang later. So, I'm gonna share my slides. Inform me if nakita nyo na ha. Ay, hindi. Wait. Mag-exit. Green. Yan, kita nyo? Can you see the slides? Kita yung PowerPoint?
Yes po, Doc.
Okay. So this is just a short lecture on immunoglobulins and complement system. But before I start my lecture, since this is the first time na makita ko, anong batch kayo? Batch 2000?
2029 po.
2029. Okay. So I'm just gonna introduce myself. My name is Dr. Kim Benedict Carlos. I'm practicing general and aesthetic medicine from Giginto, Bulacan. So sabi ko nga kanina, maraming mga taga Bulacan sa inyo. Eventually magkikita rin tayo after ng board exam nyo sa sa mga RTDs and mga sa practice. I'm a graduate, undergrad ko kasi ang BS Biochemistry sa Lasal noon. Kaya nagturo ako ng biochemistry dito sa sa LACO, yung first private College of Medicine dito sa Bulacan. And sa med school under PLM College of Medicine ako. And I've been a guest lecturer in LACO, La Consolacion College of Medicine since 2019. So this is my 6th year of teaching. Pero guest lecturer lang. Kaya makikita nyo ako at least mga one lecture every 2 months. Doon nyo lang ako makita. Mga 3 lectures ako per sem. And face-to-face, I think every sem once lang. So doon nyo lang ako nakikita. And mapapansin nyo yung mga lectures ko sobrang iikli lang kasi nga ang reason ko is during med school naman din mapapansin nyo na hindi lahat ng nasa lectures malalabas din naman sa exam and sa mga board exams kasi kailangan the rest ng mga hindi na pakinggan sa lectures babasahin nyo talaga. Ganyan ang difference ng med school sa sa undergrad. Okay? So we now start with the lecture. Pero hindi ko matanggal tong mga nyo eh. Kaya hindi ko nakita buong PowerPoint. Okay, dito lang sa side. So immunoglobulins. So the objective of this lecture is to describe the structure of the different immunoglobulin of humans, to learn the function of the 5 classes of immunoglobulins, to understand the step-by-step cascade of the complement system. And there are three pathways of the complement system, and we need to differentiate them. Next is to identify the major complement system components. And lastly, magkakaroon tayo ng clinical aspects to rationalize the common immunoglobulopathies and the inherited deficiencies of the complement system. So you will see this in this slide in all of my lectures. Kasi, wait. Ano ko pala na exit yan. This is what I'm telling all my students. So this lecture is just a supplement for your learning, or any lecture in medical school is just a supplement for your learning. You still need to read your books, especially now. First year kayo, ang major 3 na subjects na kailangan binabasa nyo is anatomy, physiology, and biochemistry. Kaya nyo siya kailangan basahin dahil wala na kayo. This is the only time that you can read it. Sa mga kasi, in my experience, habang tumataas na yung year levels nyo, dadami palalo yung mga subjects nyo. And pag dumami subjects nyo, kailangan basahin nyo na yung libro during that year, because habang tumataas ng level kayo, ang babasahin nyo na lang mga transcriptions para mabilis yung remember yung mga concepts na pinag-aralan nyo during your first years and second year. Okay? So, 2 things. Kailangan magbasa. Bukod dahil ang lectures, kulang yun. Next is, kailangan magbasa ng libro ngayon, yung 3 subjects, anatomy, physiology, and biochemistry. Kasi sa susunod, mga lecture notes na lang ang kaya nyong basahin dahil mas madami ng subjects sa mga second year, third year, lalo na pag tapos yun lang ng internship, pag mag-aaral kayo sa board exam, hindi nyo na mababasa lahat ng subjects na libro ang gagamitin nyo pa. Kaya eto na lang yung the best time na magbasa kayo ng libro. So, the book I've used in this lecture is Harper's Biochemistry. Ito 31st edition pa. I think meron ng mga latest edition on chapter 52. So in humoral in immunoglobulins, we are concerned here in the humoral immunity. Okay. Later, I think Dr. Ligo will teach you on immunology. So mawadadamay dyan yung mga T cells. But here in immunoglobulin, we will focus on the humoral immunity, or the cells that are involved, which is the B cell. As you can see in the picture, so immunoglobulins, yung mga Y-shape o tetramer of proteins that you can see on the lower right of the image, that is produced by the plasma cell, which comes from the B cell. Okay? So yung nakikita nyo mga Y-shape na yun yung mga immunoglobulins. So nagpo-produce ng plasma cells na activated na from the B cell that is activated by the antigen of the foreign body, bacteria, o viruses. On the other hand, makikita nyo sa this is for humoral immunity, makikita nyo na ang other pathway for the B cells is to produce memory B cells that will eventually have a future impact, or for future infections with the similar disease. It can help in making you recover faster, yung memory B cells na yon. But for now, we'll focus on the immunoglobulins that is produced by the plasma cells. So here are the 5 classes of immunoglobulins. The immunoglobulin G, immunoglobulin M, D, E, and A. So as you can see, immunoglobulin A and M can have multiple monomers of the immunoglobulins. You can see that immunoglobulin M is a pentamer while immunoglobulin A is a dimer. Samantalang iba, monomers lang. IgG, IgD, and IgE. So for its structure, the detailed structure, so immunoglobulins are comprised of multiple polypeptides. So it's a protein. Okay? Multiple polypeptides meaning amino acid chains that are linked together. There are subunits that are classified as heavy and light chain. In the picture, you can see the heavy chain, the darker yellow or the darker orange. They are the component of the base and the branch of that Y-shaped tetramer. Okay? While the light chain, yung mas lighter na yellow, yan yung branch lang. Hindi siya wala siyang part dun sa mismong base of the tetramer. So in humans, we have 5 classes. As I have said, immunoglobulin A, D, E, G, and M. So the heavy chain determines the class. Okay? These 5 classes, yung heavy chain nagde-determine nun. And the heavy chain are categorized into 4 conserved domains. When we say domains, these are amino acid sequences that forms the heavy chain, which is VH for variable that you can see in the antigen side, sa receptor side, and makikita yun sa image. And then CH1, constant chain, heavy 1, CH2, CH3. Okay. Constant chain kasi hindi dyan nagbabago yung mga amino acid sequence. Mostly dun sa V or variable domains siya nagbabago. That's why different antigen or different, for example, bacteria and viruses, iba-ibang mga antigen. Dyan sila nag-differentiate. Now, CH2, it's good to note that this is the part where the complements bind. Kasi may relationship ang immunoglobulin sa complement system that we will discuss later. But take note that in complement, only two class of immunoglobulin binds with it, IgG and IgM. Okay? And CH3 contains the sites to receptors of neutrophils and macrophages. Kasi yan yung base, diyan nakakabit yung mga sa bilayers or the boundaries of the neutrophils and macrophages. Sa cell bilayers nila, sa CH3, kasi yun yung base. Diba sa mga plasma cells, before ma-release yung immunoglobulin or sa B cells, yung mga immunoglobulins nakadikit pa sila doon sa bilayer. So, yun yung CH3, role ng CH3. Now, the immunoglobulin M and E are special in terms of that they have 4 constant domains. So, instead na 3 lang. So, may CH4 pa sila, immunoglobulin M and E. So take note of that, the differences in the characteristic of the immunoglobulin kasi yan yung mga usual na lumalabas sa mga exams. So the basic shape is a Y-shaped tetramer structure. And IgM and IgE, as I have mentioned, can form higher oligomers like pentamers and dimers. Unlike the others that are only monomers. Now, regarding the light chain. So light chain only contains two kinds of domain, the uh, the VL and the CL. VL, you know, the outer portion, excuse me, and CL is the constant region. So both the variable domains of heavy and light chain form the antigen binding site of the immunoglobulin. Excuse me. So this is called the hypervariable region of both the variable domain of the light chain and the heavy chain. Excuse me. Now, no sa hypervariable region, dyan lang talaga nagbabago yung mga amino acid sequence ng iba't ibang mga immunoglobulins based sa iba't ibang antigen ng mga foreign body, bacteria, parasites, viruses na mag-i-infect sa body. So, hypervariable region interspersed with relative invariable framework are called complementary determining regions, the CDRs. So, no two variable region in the immunoglobulins from different individuals share the same amino acid sequence. So, iba-iba tayo ng immunity, iba-ibang amino acid sequence ng variable regions ng bawat tao. Kaya iba-iba rin yung klase ng immunity. May iba, mapapansin kayo, mas nahahawa sa common colds. May iba naman, kahit na inubuhan mo na sa harap, hindi pa rin nahahawa. Kasi iba-iba yung mga amino acid sequence ng bawat tao na depending sa mga na-experience nila na antigen or exposure or triggers. That's why, di ba, sinasabi ng ibang mga pedya or immunologists, okay lang na pag yung baby o yung habang bata siya, i-expose mo sa mga hindi masyadong deadly infections na dahil para mag-increase yung immune system nila, which is ito yung basis nun. While epitope is the site of the antigen to which the antibody binds. So sa part naman to ng antigen. So you will not see it in this structure. Hinge region. So hinge region confers to the flexibility of the FAB arms. Far apart epitopes or to separate antigens. So yung hinge region, makikita yun sa previous structure, mas kita yan here. Yan. It is composed of a disulfide bond. Here. But you can cleave it using pepsin or papain. So, FAB region to FC region. FC region yung stem, FAB region yung mga branches ng Y shape. It is connected by the disulfide bonds. The reason why is it merong hinge region dyan, sinabi nga dito, for far apart epitopes. For example, dalawang klaseng antigen, magkahiwalay, pwede mag-expand, bumuka yung Y shape, mas buka siya para ma-connect niya sa antigen na mas malalayo. Or magka two separate antigens, mag-attach pa rin yung isang arm, isang FAB arm to the other antigen. Ibang, for example, iba naman na bacteria, magkasabay sila, magkaibang antigen. Yun yung reason para maging flexible yung arm, the FAB arm. Pwede maging mas close angle or wide angle yung arm niya dahil do sa hinge region na yun. Now, different properties of immunoglobulins that you should note. So take note of this table because ito yung madalas lumalabas sa mga exams. But ang pinaka-important is the main differences na kailangan yung or highlights na highlight ko dito. In the percentage of total globulin in the serum, majority is immunoglobulin G. So, yung pinakamarami, immunoglobulin G. With regards to structure, we have already, I've already told you this. IgA can form monomer or dimer. IgM, monomer or pentamer, while the others, D, E, and G, are monomers. For complement fixation, eto yung sinasabi ko kanina, IgG and IgM are the ones that fixates complement. So, anong region, anong domain yung ina-attach yan ng mga complements in IgG and IgM? If you remember kanina lang, you can answer. Anong region of the immunoglobulin G and immunoglobulin M will complement fixate? You can answer.
Constant heavy chain 2 po.
Yes, tama. Karil, no? Constant CH2. So, IgG and IgM lang yung may complement fixation and dun sila sa CH2 region nung immunoglobulin nag-attach. Now, for transplacental passage, the one that's known is immunoglobulin G. Okay? For allergic responses naman, immunoglobulin E. So, yan yung mga i-take note nyo kasi yan yung usual talaga na tinatanong sa mga exams. Found in secretions, mainly, secretory immunoglobulin is immunoglobulin A. So, familiar na dito malamang yung mga nag-pre-med ng biology and nursing. Usually, nadidiscuss na rin sa kanila yan during their pre-med years. Opsonization, immunoglobulin G rin. So, transplacental sa and opsonization. So, for the antigen receptor on B cells, you can find it in immunoglobulin M because M is the first responders. Immunoglobulin M sa first responder sila. Kaya naka-attach, meron pa silang attachment sa receptors ng B cells bago magiging plasma cells sila. Okay? And polymeric form contains J chain dun sa mga nagpo-polymers, which is immunoglobulin A and immunoglobulin B. Okay? But pag may mga ibang mga professor na gusto ko ipahirapan, sabihin nila itong mga sedimentation coefficient, yung mga numbers mismo na yan. Pero in my experience, yung mga sinabi ko lang yung mga madalas talaga lumalabas sa exam. Okay? Next. So functions, ito yung functions. We have already discussed some of it during the properties. So in immunoglobulin A, what you just need to remember is more on secretions nila. Sa mga secretions talaga ginagamit ang immunoglobulin A. So it is found in mucus, saliva, tears, breast milk, and secretory immunoglobulin A prevents attachment of bacteria and viruses to mucous membrane. But it does not fix complement. Kasi nga, di ba, ang nag-fix lang ng complement is G and M. So, mainly, secretions. Yun yung kailangan nyo tandaan sa immunoglobulin A. Immunoglobulin D, it is found in surfaces of B cells where it acts as receptors. And some sa M, di ba, sa previous table. Immunoglobulin E, now, what you need to remember here is the allergic reaction and also the parasitic infection. So it protects against parasitic worms. An enzyme is released with the eosinophils, and it is responsible for allergic reaction, which is mediator release from basophils and mast cells. On immunoglobulin G and M, both of them are antibody for immune response, but the difference is kung sino yung nauuna. So IgG is the main antibody in the secondary response, meaning after immunoglobulin M. It is secreted by plasma cells in the blood and it opsonizes bacteria for easier phagocytosis. And it fixes complement. And it is able to cross the placenta into the fetus. So, that's why sa mga baby, may mga inherent immunity na sila dahil do sa IgG. Kasi sa mga baby, sterile pa sila. No, wala pang kahit anong exposure sa mga antigens or any harmful substances in the environment bago lumabas. So, may konting immunity na sila na galing sa mother, which is via immunoglobulin G. Now, IgM is responsible for early stages of the immunity. So, ang mnemonic namin dyan during med school, M is mauuna, tapos G yung susunod. Okay? M is mauuna, sila yung first responder before it will be converted to immunoglobulin G. So, lahat magiging immunoglobulin G eventually, kasi mayroong tinatawag na isotype switching later. So, kaya nagiging majority naman, puro immunoglobulin G na sa blood. Pero the first responders are the immunoglobulin M. So, it also fixes complement, like I told you. Diba sa, sino dito nagkaroon na ng dengue? Diba sa dengue, meron kayo makikita na sa laboratory test, yung mga medtech dyan, na mayroong dengue, pinapagawa namin sa mga patients pag nagsuspicious kami na baka dengue yung patient. Dengue, IgG, IgM. Ba't parehas namin pinapagawa? Kasi hindi namin alam kung anong stage na nung dengue siya. Nasa early part pa ba o nasa later part na? If nag-positive sa dengue IgM, negative sa dengue IgG, meaning ka-start pa lang talaga nung nung dengue niya. Pero pag negative na sa IgM and positive sa IgG, pwedeng patapos na or nagkaroon na siya previously ng dengue. Di ba may 4 stages yun. So yun yung pinaka-clinical correlation nun sa practice medicine. So mayroon pang dengue NS1 which is not covered here in the immunoglobulins. So isotype switching. So isotype or class switching occurs during the immune response. So over time, the newly synthesized light chain will be paired with a heavy chain from the different class. Diba sabi ko, the heavy chain is the one that classifies the immunoglobulin. So pag nagbago yung heavy chain, magiging iba na yung classification niya. So from IgM, eventually magiging IgG na siya in the long run for chronic infections. Acute infections, IgM pa. Then for chronic infections, it will be class switching or there will be isotype switching to IgG. While idiotypes are different class of immunoglobulins with identical hypervariable variable domains and antigen specificity. Okay. So now we go on to clinical naman yung mga sakit. So here, you need to also memorize this for exam purposes. But syempre, for me, in my practice, hindi ko madalas yan nakikita. Pero sa mga exam, madalas yun makikita. And especially in pathology, the different disease, nature, and characteristic, you will see them eventually in your second year in pathology. So we just like to highlight the different diseases and their relation to the immunoglobulins. For example, the multiple myeloma. So its nature is the production of overproduction of light chain proteins, which is called Benz-Jones proteins. Now, it is a characteristic of neoplastic tumors of the plasma cell in the skeletal system, the multiple myeloma. So, minsan makikita nyo rin yan, ginagawang differential sa mga PCP nyo in the second year, yung mga clinico-pathological cases. So, yan yung mga ito yung mga diseases na pinapakita sa, especially in biochemistry, that you will not often see in practice but you need before you graduate. Hindi mo makikita madalas yan sa practice. Madalas makikita yan pag mga subspecialty doctors and also sa mga higher centers. Pero kahit din sila, bihira rin makita yung mga to. For the book usually yan. Pero kailangan malaman nyo dahil nga, hindi kayo magiging doktor kung hindi nyo malalampasan yung mga uh, diseases na to. Kahit na in practice, hindi nyo naman madalas makita yan. Yung mga ganyang klase. Kasi yung mga ganyan na patients, usually if they have problems in immunoglobulin and also in complement systems, napakababa ng immune system niyan. Minsan hindi na sila nagta-thrive or nabubuhay na mas matagal in this world. Okay? So next is Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia. So overproduction of immunoglobulin M. And its characteristic is, since maraming immunoglobulin sa serum or sa blood, it will become hyperviscous. So, hyperviscous, magiging malapot yung dugo and it can lead to autoimmune hemolytic anemia, thrombocytopenia, and neutropenia. So, next is isolated IgA deficiency. So, its nature is decrease in immunoglobulin A. So, since related ang immunoglobulin A in secretions, its characteristic is repeated episodes of respiratory, genitourinary, gastrointestinal tract infections. Kasi wala na masyadong lumalaban dun sa, at that level, sa mucus or secretion level pa lang. So, madali na makapitan ng infection pa lang sa sa genitourinary tract, gastrointestinal and respiratory tracts. And lastly is the X-linked amaglobulinemia of Bruton. Meaning, wala talagang napoproduce na immunoglobulin. So, it decreases synthesis of all types of immunoglobulin. So, its characteristic is decreased resistance to bacteria and bacterial infection. So, isipin nyo na lang, paano pa sila magsusurvive kung ganyan kababa ang immune system nila. Hindi pa to yung mga specific na na immune response. So, diyan pa lang mahirapan na mag-survive yung yung mga patients na may ganyang mga condition. Kaya minsan hindi nagiging hindi naman sa hindi mo nakikita, hindi lang nadadiagnose pa lang yung mga patients na may mga ganyang disease. Kaya hindi na umabot. Especially kung practice mo is adult medicine. So that's the immunoglobulins. Now, before we go to complement, do you have any questions? May mga questions ba kayo? Or naintindihan nyo ba? Wala. None? So, we can proceed to the complement if none. Wala naman? No questions? Okay. Now we move on to complement. So complement system. So in complement system, more on innate immune system here. So the complement system is a plasma-borne arm of the innate immune system, meaning hindi masyadong specific like the humoral or the cell-mediated immunity of the body. So mas general siya na immunity. And it is activated by antibody-antigen complex by, as what we've discussed, the immunoglobulin M and G. Diba? That will attach to CH2. heavy chain 2, constant region. So complement factors are the complements are proteins then, proteases. Upon activation generates a cascade of proteolytic activation that eventually will produce the MAC. Okay, or the membrane attack complex. So protein sila na may enzyme activities that will eventually activate the other complements, and that complement will then be cleaved and then be activated until it will form the MAC, or the membrane attack complex, that has a role in immunity. So let's discuss it a little deeper here. So there are three types of pathway in the complement system. One is the classical, next is the MBL or the mannose binding lectin, and lastly is the alternative. So for the classical pathway is triggered by the antibody-antigen complex binding, which stimulates factor C1. So C1, sabi ko nga, proteases sila. So protein sila na nagki-cleave and activate the other complement. So C1 will then cleave C2 and C4. So C2 will now become C2A and C2B, while C4 will become C4A and C4B. Now C2A and C4B will associate to form C3. Okay, C3 convertase. And that C3 convertase will cleave C3 to C3 to C3A and C3B. Now, your C3A will now bind to C2A, C4B to form C5 convertase. And that C5 convertase will now cleave C5. And that C5A and B, so sa C5A is a chemoattractant, later natin discussion. So C5B muna will combine with the other complement, C6, C7, C8, C9 to form the membrane attack complex. So ito yung pinaka-importante nyo malaman na component, C6 to 9 plus C5B to form the membrane attack complex. Yung other component ng C5, which is C5A and C3A, will now become chemoattractants to recruit leukocyte in the infection. Okay? So that means may role pa rin yung mga natirang mga half nila or other component nung mismong na-cleave na complements. While in the lectin pathway, usually ang difference lang naman nila is the initiation, kung saan nag-start. So in lectin pathway, it binds to the bacterial polysaccharides to generate a complex that recruits and activates C4. So mag-start siya sa C4, and also ang kailangan niya na binding is bacterial polysaccharides if there is the cell wall of the bacteria itself. Okay? Kasi may mga ibang mga bacteria viruses na nagpo-produce lang sila ng antigen. Hindi naman mismo sila yung nag-i-invade sa cells. So, magiging classical pathway sila. While in the lectin, yung mismong bacterial polysaccharides or yung cell membrane nila ang mag-interact dun sa complements. Now, that will activate C4. So, in lectin, MBL, mannose binding lectin pathway, C4 ang start nila. Okay, C4 will undergo autoproteolysis, so it can cleave itself to form C4A and C4B. And also, C4 can cleave C2 to C2A and C2B, like C1, di ba? C1 also cleaves C2. And then, this is the main component. It will cascade as is, like the classical pathway. So, na magpo-produce pa rin ng C5B to C6 to C9 to form MAC. And then the C5A will now become a chemoattractant. So same. So initial lang yung difference niya. In the alternative pathway, C3 naman ang start nito. So C3 is activated by direct chemical hydrolysis or taking over. So C3B binds to complement factor B. As you can see in the picture on the right. So C3B factor B will then bind with factor D to form C3B capital BA plus BA. Okay? And C3BA will possess C5 convertase activity, which will eventually produce again C5A and C5B. And then C5B mag-bind na naman sa C6 to 9 to form MAC. And C5A, chemoattractant again. So same ending but different lang yung initiation. Okay? So this is the end complex or the end product ng complex system, the membrane attack complex or the MAC. So how does it kill or the invaders? So MAC kills invaders by binding to the opening of a pore in the plasma membrane. As you can see in the picture, parang bubutasan niya yung plasma membrane, and because of that, magkaka-inrushing of fluids, or because of the osmotic differences in the concentration, mag-burst na lang yung invader or yung cell. So sobrang parang binutasan mo yung lobo. Tapos may pumasok na maraming mga fluids dahil sa differences in concentration. So yun yung way nila para kill yung mga foreign bacteria, viruses. Ay, more on viruses, more on immunoglobulin sila kasi nga wala naman sariling compartmentalization yung mga viruses. Okay, more on sa mga bacterial infections. Next. Here. So this is another table for you to memorize. Pero eventually, ano lang naman to? All of them just bababa ang immune system ng lahat. Innate immune system. Okay? For example, C3A, C4A, C5A. So its activity is the anaphylotoxin, increases release of histamine from the granulation of mast cells, which eventually increase the permeability of smooth muscle and vasodilation. Inflammatory mediators, di ba? Sinabi ko na kanina, C3A and C5A are inflammatory mediators. That increases lipo-oxygenase pathway of arachidonic acid, metabolism in neutrophils, monocyte, and basophils. Since innate siya, sila yung mga initial cells na ina-attract nila. So, kasama rin pala yung C4A. C5A, especially a powerful chemoattractant for neutrophils, monocytes, eosinophils, basophils to the sites of damage. So may additional na eosinophils. C3B, C4B for opsonization or coating of the bacteria and immune complexes for enhanced phagocytosis. Kasi pag kinote na nila, nag-opsonize na, parang tinatag ng body na bacteria ito, so kailangan pwede ng mag-phagocytosis ng yung neutrophils and macrophages. So pwede nang kainin ng mga white blood cells nyo. So parang tiga-tikat lang sila. So MAC, sinabi na natin to, bacterial and humoral bacterial effect, osmolytic lysis of cells by cellular lysis, general, so elimination of infectious agent or damaged cells. So it is harmful to normal cells by immunopathological reaction. So may mga diseases na kino-consider na foreign body yung normal cells natin, yun yung mga autoimmune diseases. Kapag yun ang nilagyan ng MAC o membrane attack complex, yun yung namamatay, yung mga normal cells. Yan yung nangyayari sa mga patients na may mga autoimmune diseases. Kasi hindi niya na-differentiate ano yung foreign sa sarili mong normal cells. So here, you can see na meron pang mga ibang mga components like C1Q, C3b, C1R, CD3. So you just memorize these components kasi hindi siya lumabas sa mga general lectures on complement system. So C1Q for phagocytosis, C3b, C1R for phagocytosis and solubilization and clearance of circulating immune complexes. So halos mga similar naman yung mga response nila because it's a general and innate immunity. And CD3 for enhanced antibody production of the B cells. Okay? Diba sa mga HIV, yan, CD3, CD4, yan yung mga tinetest. Now, for the diseases of the complement system, it is the inherited disease of the complement system. Pag C3 ang may deficiency, there's an increased susceptibility of infections, particularly bacterial or pyogenic infection. Or if there is a deficiency in the alternative pathway, there is increased susceptibility to infection, which is halos lahat naman, ganun naman talaga, susceptibility sa infections, lahat ng mga may problem, any part of the complement or the immunoglobulins, di ba? Immune system. So C1, C2, and C4, autoimmune diseases like SLE that results in tissue damages. Maybe because yung mga yan, may mga chemoattractants sila na mag-increase ng nagko-call ng neutrophils, macrophages, and basophils. So nagkakaroon pa ng extra tissue damages dahil sila yung majority na nag-attract ng mga white blood cells. Sa MAC, if there's a problem in production of MAC, there's an increased susceptibility of recurrent Neisseria infections, especially gonococcal and meningococcal infection. C1 INH, the disease is angioneurotic edema, which is recurrent episodes of edema in the skin, mucous membrane of the respiratory tracts, and the viscera. So you just have to memorize that. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, in practice, hindi nyo naman makikita talaga yan. But for you to have a practice, kailangan maging doktor kayo at kailangan ma-memorize nyo yung mga diseases na yan habang nasa mga exams pa lang level kayo. Okay. With that, we've completed all the objectives. So, thank you. Do you have any questions? May mga questions ba kayo? Yung ibang mga sakit naman, matututunan nyo na yan sa pathology. As of now, kailangan nyo lang i-memorize sila at mga characteristics nila. Kasi yun lang naman yung malabas sa mga exam. Pero hindi nyo kailangan alaman yung detail, yung pathophysiology nila. Basta ang importante, for me, kaya ako nagle-lecture ng mas simpleng than more on maraming details. Kasi gusto ko lang malaman nyo kung paano lang nangyayari yung biochemistry of the body. Pero nasa inyo na yung mga pagbabasa ng mga details, like ano yung mga terms. Kasi yung mga terms, yun yung madalas sa exam, pero kung hindi nyo naintindihan kung paano nag-work yung body, hindi nyo madaling maintindihan yung yung mga basics. Especially, first years pa lang kayo, so sa first year talaga kailangan maintindihan yung normal before nyo matutunan yung mga abnormal, yung mga may sakit pagdating sa second year. So, anatomy, physiology, and biochemistry. Very important yan, ha? Okay. Do you have any questions? Dito pala si